niggas linking up. Trail niggas linking up. Link up, my nigga, let's link up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Link Up. I am your host, the one and only Ron, the Don, and welcome to another edition of Off the Court, ladies and gentlemen. And this isn't your traditional Off the Court episode. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to address the public, the citizens of the United States. I am here to give a State of the Union address. Ladies and gentlemen, after Joe Biden has declined to rerun for president, I believe that the man that is truly going to make America great again is the one and only LeBron James. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James single-handedly carried Team USA full of, young and up-and-coming stars of the now, past, future. LeBron James, at almost age 40, willed Team USA past the super team in South Sudan, crafted by Luol Deng, coached by Royal Ivy, two former NBA players in their own right. LeBron James led the Team USA to a comeback win and a 1-point win, 101 to 100, ladies and gentlemen. I, for one, did not, going into the game, did not expect it to be this close. But hey, I'll give credit to where credit is definitely due. South Sudan, they're working over there. We've seen some great athletes come out of Africa, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam. And so I'm glad that, the country of South Sudan was able to showcase their talents, being their own independent country now. And man, you got big contributions across the board. Mario Shea, 24 points. JT Thor, 14 points. Carlick Jones, the guy for South Sudan, getting it done. A triple-double, notching 15, 11, and 11. They had USA on the ropes for the majority of the game. But like I said, because of that man, LeBron James, that was not the case. And if this is what it's going to be like heading into the Olympics, it might get scary. Steve Kerr came out and said that he'll take the blame for the team not being ready and focused as they should be. And he's definitely getting a lot of criticism with his lineup, choosing to go with Joel Embiid over a guy like Anthony Davis, who has been balling in all these exhibition games. So, Steve Kerr is definitely on the hot seat for this one. A lot of people, myself included, feel like it shouldn't have been this close in the first place. But again, credit to South Sudan making it competitive, showcasing, their skills. And, I hope they show out for the motherland in the upcoming Olympics. I'm definitely looking forward to the rematch when they get into group play during the Olympics. And, hopefully, because I'm riding with Team USA all the way. Hopefully it's not as close and we get this W. I got them, going undefeated, losing one at the least, but I got them taking this gold medal. So hopefully Team USA can get it done. And really, for the most part, it was, really just LeBron James. Anthony Davis had an double-double. He went 15 and 11, but he was 4-12 shooting. Joel Embiid chipped in with 14, 7, and 3. And, in his time on the court. But outside of that, there was really no major contributions. Drew Holiday, at the end of the game, came up clutch defensively. Something that he was always doing on that side of the ball. So he's somebody that shouldn't be forgotten in this. So it was definitely an exciting game. And we're gearing up towards the Olympics next weekend when USA takes the court for their first Olympic game. In this year's Olympics against Serbia, they blew out Serbia in their exhibition game, so I'm looking forward to a more competitive game. But one thing's for sure, all the players voted LeBron James as the best player on the Team USA. And, it's no argument now. If he gonna be showing out like this, being the oldest guy on the roster, man, that's crazy. But shifting focus from the men's Team USA to the women's Team USA, WNBA All-Star Weekend was this weekend. Shout out to Alicia Gray taking, both trophies in both the skills challenge and the 3-point challenge. No knock on Alicia Gray. She definitely went out there and did her thing, dominated, this All-Star Weekend. But I really wish we would have got Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu. Who knows? We might see them for NBA All-Star break and maybe a shootout next year. But, it was still entertaining nonetheless. And so was the women's All-Star game. I'm glad that they really, the crowd showed out. They got the recognition they deserve because it was definitely, a game. You had Stewie, Breonna Stewart, and Aja Wilson combining for a total of 53 points. You had, DT going off for 14, 6, and 5 on the Team USA end. But ultimately, it was Team WNBA with the secret weapon. I'm talking about second half Arike Ogunbowale popping off for 34 points, going crazy in the second half. Did not score in the first half, going crazy, and really, sealed this win for Team WNBA. If you're wondering, yes, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark did play in this one. Angel Reese ended up with a double-double in the All-Star game, the first time this been done since 1999. She had 12 and 10. Caitlin Clark ended the game with 4 and 10, 4 points, 10 assists. Alicia Gray, 16 points. And it was definitely a fun game overall. I definitely enjoyed it. This was, respectfully one of the more entertaining games to watch in the WNBA this season. And I really like that all the talents were showcased on the floor, especially Arike. She's definitely a special talent. She was really, a one-man army, a one-man army, excuse me. And it was definitely entertaining. I'm looking forward to the second half of the season. I hope this is not indicative of, women's USA basketball. Hopefully they can go out and get that gold medal. I definitely think they will. I definitely think they got it on lock. So we definitely looking forward to that. In some other news around hoops basketball, it looks like the Knicks have taken 2 pay cuts. 2 Knicks players have taken pay cuts. Yes, Jalen Brunson signed an extension, left, quite a bit on the table. And Mikal Bridges is doing the same. They're giving the Knicks that flexibility to make improvements to the roster. And depending on what the Knicks can do with, the extra cap space, if they can somehow, move Julius Randle for some additional pieces, which I think he's going to stay on the team for at least this year. But in future events, if they move Julius Randle, get some extra pieces, the Knicks might definitely be scary. I don't think, as constructed, they're a threat to Boston just yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they, and I'm lying, I would be surprised if they knocked off Boston. But right now, the Knicks are definitely becoming a formidable, opponent out east, and it's definitely interesting to see. Speaking of the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown made his presence known courtside at Summer League game. Was sitting with, his girl and Angel Reese. I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I don't want to butcher it. But he was sitting with her, and he got caught on camera, man. Jaylen Brown, he got caught lacking for all the good things he done did. Eastern Conference Finals MVP, NBA champion. He got caught lacking, and they were watching Bronny James in the summer league, in which it looked like the cameras caught Jaylen Brown saying that he doesn't think Bronny is a pro right now, and then his girl asked him, was it the G, like she think he's gonna go to the G League, and he said, he's not a pro. And then later on, he came out and said all respect to LeBron James, that it's a blessing that his son is able to share the court with him. But he didn't say that he didn't believe what he said when he was caught on camera. So he didn't backtrack there. So it's definitely interesting. After this, though, Bronny in the last game, he actually put on, in the last two games, he put on the show, actually scoring in double digits both games. Finally showing some flashes of what he could potentially do offensively as a possible 3-and-D player. I said on the last podcast, I feel like defensively, he has the tools. He just has to really hone into that to find a niche in the league, and then kind of start building off of that. You look at your guys like Patrick Beverly, Derrick Jones Jr., guys who really stayed on the court because of their defense, and then as years went along, start expanding their offense. I think Bronny could eventually, if he puts the work in, fit in that category. It sucks all the scrutiny he's facing, but that's just what comes with being LeBron James' son. So at the end of the day, that's just something that I'm pretty sure he knows he's gonna have to deal with. He said that he's been dealing with it all his life, so it's nothing new to him. But he just has to, you find some motivation, use that as fuel, and find a way to stay on the court. Speaking of summer league, as promised, I said I would give you guys my way too early rookie ladder, Ron's rookie rankings, and that's what I'm gonna do. This is strictly based off the eye test, no advanced stats or anything like that. I just been watching a lot of summer league, and these are the 10 guys that stood out to me. So if you want to disagree with me, argue with me, feel free to do it, in the comments. Hit me up on social media. I'll put that in there. We can go back and forth about it. If you feel like somebody's too low, didn't get mentioned, too high, just let me know. But I'm definitely going to get into it, starting with number 10. I like what I saw from this guy a lot, especially out of the gate, and that was Terrence Shannon Jr. I feel like if it wasn't for the off the court stuff, he definitely would have been a lottery pick. He was on his way to being, potentially national player of the year. And in summer league, he came out firing on all cylinders. Ultimately averaged 13 points, and was a +9 when he was on the court. And so that goes to show how much of a difference he made when he was on the court. The shooting is not there. His percentages were kind of low. But at the same time, every time he was on the court, for me, his impact was seen. He was aggressive. Kind of reminds me of aggressive Kelly Oubre type player. I could definitely see that in the cards for him. And who knows, he could probably build on that and become even better. But right now, his role with the Timberwolves, if he does see the court, potentially could be that, especially if he gets it done on the defensive end and makes strides in that area. Number 9, somebody that I liked a lot coming into the draft, and I feel like he had a pretty solid, decent summer league. Ron Holland for the Detroit Pistons. Averaged 17 points, 7 rebounds, a block and a steal per game. Really made his impact on the court. You can see the potential there. Even though his shot's kind of broken, well, not broken right now, but the shooting efficiency is not where you might want it, especially for a team that struggled with shooting last year. He found his way to 17 points. So that's nothing to go unnoticed. And I feel like, just kind of like Shannon Jr., when he was on the court, he made an impact. And for me, that's why I had to put him in my number 9 position. Number 8, I'm going to go with teammate of Shannon Jr., fellow Timberwolf, Rob Dillingham. I liked a lot of what I saw from Rob Dillingham, especially kind of getting a glimpse of what his role could potentially be this upcoming season for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was controlling the court, really dishing the ball off, averaged 7 assists in summer league. Really, being a point first, a pass first guard. We know he has the shooting ability, so he was getting to more of a floor general in that game. In Kentucky, he had to share responsibility coming off the bench as well, handling the ball. But Minnesota is looking for somebody to replace Conley, so this was a chance for him to put his playmaking on display. He also ended with 13 points a game and was a +6, and Minnesota was a +6 when he was on the floor. So I definitely think Rob had a solid summer league, and I'm very much looking forward to his growth as a player, especially on a rising team like Minnesota. As a side note, I really think going forward, that's the new wave or the new strategy. You get these young players through the draft to bolster your bench, or you find a star player in the draft and then start going all in on trades. So to give an example of Wembanyama, he's on a rookie scale contract right now. The Spurs have all this space to go out, and they have the picks and the players to go out and make. They get a solid team around Wembanyama while he's inexpensive and while they can spend a little bit. I feel like that's the new strategy going forward. Or you could be like the Minnesota Timberwolves. We don't have the financial flexibility, but we can go get talented players from the draft, rookie scale contract to bolster our bench, and then that also helps us in the future. So once we move on from those guys, we got another guy on the bench waiting to step up and take that spot. So I definitely think that's the strategy going forward. But getting back to, the rookie rankings for me, number 7, I gotta go with Matas Buzelis for the Chicago Bulls. Definitely impressed with how he approaches the game. He's getting comparisons to Franz Wagner. I definitely see that potential for him. I definitely think with the departure of DeMar DeRozan, we don't know what's going to go on with Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, but getting a point guard like Josh Giddey, who's looking to pass the ball, that's definitely going to be a benefit for him. And if he has that shot falling, he didn't shoot it too well in Summer League, but if he has that shot falling going forward, I definitely think, Buzelis has a bright future in this league. I like a lot what I saw for him. Had the aggressiveness, looking to score, looking to make an impact, make things happen. He just gotta be more efficient when it comes to shooting, and he'll be on his way. Number 6, a guy I'm super high on. I know I put him in the number 6 coming out of summer league, but there were some guys, just a little bit better than him. But my guy from Pitt, Carlton Carrington, 15, 7, and 5 for the Wizards. To me, was the best player on the Wizards summer league team. No disrespect to Alex Sarr, but he hasn't showed up, which doesn't mean he's gonna be a bust or he's not gonna be a good player. But as far as impact, I feel like Bub Carrington stood out more for sure. Was hitting some difficult shots, hitting open jumpers. Looks like he's gonna have the whole package offensively, and I'm very interested to see how he grows as a shot creator and a combo guard in this league. Getting into my top 5, number 5, Donovan Clingan, averaged 9 points. Not too crazy on the offensive end, but coming in, we know that wasn't his game. We know him as a defender and a big body down low, and that was true. He averaged 12 rebounds and 4 blocks, being number 1 in both categories in Summer League. And so he's another one of those players. Whenever he was on the court, he made an impact defensively, and just being a space eater on the court. I'm curious to see what Portland is going to do, how they're going to find him minutes. with the logjam they got at center right now, having 4 centers on the roster. But Donovan Clingan was definitely number 5 for me and potentially could move up throughout the season. Number 4, a guard from the Lakers, not the one that everybody might be thinking of, but the one that really showed out and got overshadowed a lot, Dalton Connect. 21 points on 41, 39, and 81 shooting splits. The man is a bucket. He was a bucket coming into college, coming out of college, coming into the NBA. The man is a bucket. So he put that on, full display throughout summer league. It's just unfortunate because he was being overshadowed by his teammate, which is gonna happen when you one of the great sons. You playing with one of the greatest of all time sons. It's gonna happen, but Connect. Is playing as advertised, a straight bucket getter, somebody who can really shoot the ball and is all offense. I'm curious to see if he's gonna make it on the court. Uh, and I don't know if Max Christie, being that he signed that new contract, if he's gonna be ahead of him in the rotation. He's got to beat out Austin Reeves as well, D'Angelo Russell, Gabe Vincent. So I'm wondering, if he's going to be able to crack the rotation this upcoming season. It's been said that JJ Redick is a fan of his. So I'm looking to see how he impacts the Lakers. And I was very pleased with what I saw from him in Summer League. Number 3, call me biased, call me whatever, but as a Heat fan, I'm happy that we picked this guy. I wanted this guy. A couple of months ago, before we even got bounced in the first round, Khalil Ware, to me, has been the best center by far in Summer League, getting it done offensively. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal, or per game was his averages. And I just felt like you could just look at this guy and see that he has potential to be special, especially with coming in and filling a position of need. So there's a high chance that he might get extensive playing time this season. We're seeing in Olympics, Bam thriving at the 4 position. So who knows, maybe he could be in the starting center position. And if he's able to shoot that ball, shoot that 3 and open up the floor for Miami, the sky's the limit for him and the Heat going forward with him and Bam as a potential front court duo. I like the fact that he's impacting the game on both sides of the ball, and he's just using his sheer size to make a difference in the game. Also, as of today, he led the Heat to a Summer League championship game. Hopefully, they get it done. Heat Nation might be mad at me for saying this, but that might be, the only championship we get in a while if we win that game. So hopefully that's not the case and we win. I'm a big believer in the team. I feel like you can never count them out, but I'm not going to go on a tangent about them this week. But yeah, I love what I'm seeing from the Rook, man. I just hope he keeps it going and carries that into this rookie season. Number 2 and number 1 were hard for me because I definitely agree that both of these dudes belong. It was just trying to put them in order, but ultimately at my number 2 spot, Reed Shepherd, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, played solid to start off Summer League, kind of, tailed off in there, and the shooting kind of declined for sure, and that's why he wasn't my number 1. But my number 1 rookie thus far in the rookie rankings, Stephon Castle. Man, he was my favorite guard out of this class. The guy that I was probably most high on coming out of the draft, him and Alex Sarr. I'm still hoping for Alex Sarr. Hopefully, it ain't gonna go down too bad years from now. But Stephon Castle, man, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Was kind of high in the turnover category, 5 turnovers a game. But at the same time, he was making an impact on the game. I said it last week. People are talking about they see flashes of Jimmy Butler, flashes of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I wouldn't go that far just yet. He still has a long road to go, but I'm definitely excited and encouraged by his performance in summer league. You know, add that to the fact that the Spurs signed Chris Paul, so he's gonna be learning a lot from him. He's going to be playing with Wembanyama, so he's not even going to have to deal with a lot of pressure. All he got to do is just, play his role, throw it up to the big fella, and eat off that. As of right now, Stephon Castle is definitely, if he makes his way into a starting lineup, and that's the thing for me, no rookie in my top 10 I see starting, maybe outside of Buzelis and, but everyone else, is coming off. I feel like it's coming off the bench. But if Stephon Castle can break out as a starter, I definitely see him being in the running for that Rookie of the Year trophy. So that was my way too early rookie ladder, and I'll bring this back out again once we reach, sometime in the regular season. And the last topic I want to cover today. One of my favorite players of all time, Russell Westbrook, is on the move. He's being traded to the Jazz to eventually be bought out, and he intends to sign with the Denver Nuggets. They said that Nikola Jokic pushed for this move. And for me, it's bittersweet. I already see everybody clowning on Russ, doubting that it's going to be effective. And I kind of hate this for Russ, honestly, because if they don't succeed, he's the easy blame target. If they do succeed, I'll be so happy for him. I hope he wins a championship. But just looking at the way Denver's roster is right now, I don't know. Their bench is a little shaky. If you got Russ coming off of that or Christian Brown, that's only one guy that it seems like Michael Malone really trusts right now. They got Dario Saric, so I feel like he's going to play. But you need more than two guys. That was Denver's problem this past playoffs is Nikola Jokic was tired. Jamal Murray was banged up. They didn't really have any options anywhere else in that regard. Michael Porter Jr. was in the shooting slump. So for me, I don't know if this really moves the needle for Denver. I love Russ as a player. Like I said, one of my favorites of all time. I'm hoping the best, but I don't know, like fit wise. I don't know if he starts next to Jamal Murray, if he comes off the bench. But I'm not really right now. I'm not really too high on this move, and I think Denver has to somehow get more depth on their team. I was very looking forward to the rookie Deron Holmes. Unfortunately, he's gonna miss the season with an injury. If anything, I like Michael Porter Jr. as a player, but because his contract is so massive to keep the championship window open, you might have to move him to get bench pieces, somehow, some way. Who would take him? What would be a good team that you would get pieces back from? I'm not really sure, but that might be the way Denver would have to go in this, regard. But we'll just have to see. And to be honest, that's been all the news this week. Hasn't been crazy. We're in like the lower parts of the hoop season. Nothing really going on. Olympics about to crank up, so we definitely gonna be on that more heavy. Hopefully, some games come on at random times. So depending on what I'm doing, I might be able to catch them. I might not, but definitely gonna try my best for you guys. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this pod. I thank y'all for sticking with me through thick and thin. It's only up from here. And I just, hope that everybody is having a blessed day, a blessed life. Whatever you feel like you holding back from and you want to really thrive in something, I say go out there and do it. I say go out there and be, the best version of you, the positive version. Don't sit around and wait and think, what if? You got to go make it happen. make the best decisions and choices in life for you. So I'm just hoping that for everybody. And with that said, I'm your host, Ron the Don. This has been another episode of Off the Court, another episode of The Link Up. And with that, we out.
Trip forever and I'm just not getting started. That's the one. Yeah.